What is up, best ones worldwide? It's the best one, DBTV here, back with a brand new basketball reaction video. If you're not a best one yet and you're an NBA fan, hit that subscribe button now. Turn on post notifications because you already know the grind is real. And guys, I'm going to be reacting to James Harden's press conference with the Brooklyn Nets. And you guys already know I don't like this move at all. And we're going to see if he's spitting facts or if he's spitting lies. And I'm very curious to see what he's going to say in this press conference. I'm hoping he's going to say that that ego of his is staying in Houston. And he's going to come into Brooklyn with a whole new attitude. He's going to focus on rings and not freaking stat chasing and MVPs. I don't want that. So I'm hoping that he goes in there, he has that championship mindset. He's not stuck on freaking stats and throwing up 50 shots and making 10 baskets. So let's find out what James Harden said. I hope he's going in this with a whole new mindset. This is a new chapter in your career, James Harden. And it's time for you to get a ring. And I want you to get that ring because it's not only going to help your career, it's also going to help us Brooklyn Nets fans freaking say that we are the best basketball team in New York because the Knicks, let's be real, they're not winning a ring for another freaking 100 years. Alright, so let's play this video and let's see what's on James Harden's mind. NBA news conference.
What does it mean to you?
It means a lot. Just coming for 8 years in Houston, and then having a fresh start with some unbelievable talent, and obviously the coaching staff, the front office, from top to bottom. The welcome has been amazing. So it's a fresh start for me to go out there and ultimately have a chance to compete at a title.
I like that mindset.
NBC New York.
Good shit, James Harden. That's what I'm talking about.
What's your message to Nets fans on what kind of player and what kind of teammate they're getting?
An elite player, an elite teammate, an elite leader.
I'm going to be real here. James Harden is an elite player, but an elite teammate? He had Dwight Howard. He's had Chris Paul. He's had Russell Westbrook. Yet, he could not win a ring. And a leader. A leader just does not give up on their team, especially having pretty decent players on this new Rockets team. That's all I gotta say about that. I'll continue watching this.
And just a guy that's willing to do whatever it takes to rack up as many wins as we can.
He was about to say freaking scoring. Rack up as many stats as I can. He stopped himself there. I almost caught that.
Hey, James. Welcome. Following up on that, I mean, you've proven yourself to be an elite player, and KD's an elite player, Kyrie's an elite player.
Obviously. Let's be real. James Harden is an elite player.
Asked to make big shots. I'm curious how the three of you make sure that you guys come together.
Teamwork!
Main thing.
I want to hear it.
Find a way to
Teamwork!
greater good.
That's how we're going to win.
Chemistry, sacrifice, and like we said, we're all elite. So depending on
sacrifice, exactly. That's what they got to do if they're going to win a ring. Sacrifice.
Who gets the ball and who makes the plays. We're all unselfish. We're all willing.
Whoa! Hold up! Hold up! You are all unselfish. Harden, you throw up 50 shots a game. Then that's called being unselfish. Oh my God. He's spitting some lies.
We play basketball the right way.
10 for 50.
Otis Livingston, CBS New York.
Hey, James, welcome to Brooklyn. From your post-game comments after the Lakers lost to...
Why did the Sixers and the Celtics and Miami have to decline the deals? Why did they have to decline the deals with...
being held out of practice until a trade was made. it got pretty ugly at the end of your tenure in Houston. Is there any part of you that regrets the way that it ended?
I wasn't disrespectful to anyone. Those guys had just got there. Houston.
Did he get into a fight with someone at practice?
I've been there for a very long time. I've been through all the ups and downs, with that organization. And
Bullshit.
I wasn't disrespectful towards anyone. I just made a comment, that the team as a whole wasn't good enough to compete for a title.
Bullshit.
And,
I think that this team that Houston has put together has more of a chance of going for a title than the team that they had last year with Russell Westbrook and James Harden. I'm just keeping it real, okay?
The stage of my career, right where I am now, that's what I would love, and so I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to anybody, especially not
getting into a fight with a teammate, going to freaking strip clubs,
I'm excited to be here.
going to strip clubs over training camp. That is freaking disrespectful. And you're supposed to be the team leader of that franchise.
Place that you loved and you had so many
Yeah,
highlights.
I regret because I'm not the type of guy to, I don't need the attention, especially the negative energy, the negative attention. Like, I've never been that guy.
Well, that's what you're going to bring if you go to strip clubs over freaking... That's what you're going to bring going to strip clubs over training camp and getting along with your new teammates. Just saying.
Where I can compete, and here I am in Brooklyn. I have nothing but love and respect for that organization, that city, and everything that has ever done for me and my family. Much respect.
I gave you 25.
Ad break!
What would you do? Take 2 years off your mortgage.
Too bad we don't got ads.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
Hi, James. Welcome. Sean Marks said yesterday that in large part,
Sean Marks
you
is a
were
god.
pretty much going to be thrown into the fire here. Brooklyn has a schedule where they don't practice a whole lot. He's hoping that you will lean a lot on your previous relationship with Kevin Durant. What communication had you?
I will say I like that we have KD and that KD and Harden do have a relationship. So I think Harden is going to be selfless when it comes to
That's
that.
a pretty special piece of lean on.
Because KD is one of the most selfless players in the league.
Me just loving the game of basketball and having so much talent around me makes.
Not gonna lie, he does look fresh with that Brooklyn sweatshirt on. I will say that.
And Mike and the entire coaching staff, and then even the players today, I'm more confident because the things that they do offensively and defensively are similar to what I've been used to in Houston. So just going out there and being me, and making the game easier for
Being you, please do not throw up 10 friggin' 50 shots, please.
Our bigs, our
Do not.
shooters.
Let's shoot smart, James Harden. Let's
that's
shoot
what we're
smart.
doing.
Greg Logan, Newsday.
Hi, James. Welcome to Brooklyn. I'd just like to drill down a little bit on your thought process, even before training camp, making the decision to ask for the trade from the Rockets to the Nets.
But I understand why he wanted to trade, guys. It's the Western Conference, and the Western Conference literally has at least 12 out of 15 teams that are actually good that can make playoffs. So I see why he wanted out, though.
As far as with Houston,
But just the way he did it wasn't
just
right.
wanted to, after the bubble, after that loss, just wanted to reevaluate my career and the
36-year-old
and
LeBron.
the direction that the organization was going. And then you look from top to bottom, from general manager leaving to Mike D'Antoni leaving, to reevaluating our personnel and see if we had enough to compete with the best teams in this league. And as time went on and free agency and things like that started to go on, it was like, well, I felt like we didn't have a chance, and so as much as I love the city of Houston,
Here, hold on. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of understand where James Harden is coming from. Maybe in his mindset, he didn't realize that, maybe this team, it wasn't good enough to compete for a championship. You got to realize, John Wall, he's been out of the league for a couple years. DeMarcus Cousins, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries on and off. Christian Wood, it was a risk, but obviously it's paying off because Christian Wood, he's balling right now. And they have old Eric Gordon and PJ Tucker, who just aren't the same players that they once were. So I kind of understand that, I kind of see where James Harden is coming from a little bit. I can admit that. I know what I can put my feet in other people's shoes, and I kind of see a little bit why he wanted. I can see why he wanted out of Houston.
I think at the point.
But why Brooklyn?
Money,
Fuck.
About anything else but having a chance of reaching their ultimate goal is, is to winning at the highest level. So that's
if you want to win,
like,
just like Kobe said, your style of basketball is not going to win you championships.
I would love it to go, but I think both sides are.
If he could be a sniper for this team, whew.
Christian Winfield, New York.
Not doubting his shooting abilities, but just the amount of shots he takes.
First and foremost, welcome to Brooklyn.
Thank you.
I guess you would know better than any of us in this room that, winning a championship is not easy, right? There's 30 teams, of those 30, maybe 5 or 6 have real chances to win it. You've been part of those 5 or 6 for God knows how long since you've been in Houston. You've had
they competed for titles. They always came up short, and I actually always rooted for the Rockets to beat the Warriors.
I'm just curious as to what gives you the confidence.
And they always disappointed
me. This time around will be different, and that this group can get it done.
Our culture.
Obviously, you got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on the team, and then surrounded by those guys, you have really good pieces in DeAndre, Jeff, shooters, and Joe, Landry. And I mean, you just look at this entire.
I'm gaining a little bit more respect for him. Okay, he's mentioning some of our role players. I respect that.
And then the coaching staff.
He knows you need a deep roster.
You just add that all together
to win.
Like,
it doesn't take just the superstars to win you a ring.
It was a no-brainer for me.
Rachel Nichols, ESPN.
I don't blame you. Kyrie and Durant, they wanted to come to Brooklyn because they saw the same thing you're seeing.
James. Obviously, so many great players go without winning a
Damn, we got better quality than these interviewers, though.
But how about you? How do you?
And they're the ones making millions.
In terms
it's
of
crazy.
how important it is to actually win that title, to complete what you want to do in basketball.
Is she from the jump?
It's not a guarantee that me coming to Brooklyn is, guaranteeing the title, Rachel. But I think for me, giving myself a chance is very, very important.
Facts.
At younger, giving myself a chance, but wanting to get paid and wanting to take care of my family was very, very important to me.
See, that's the biggest problem. Lots of these players pick money over rings. Why do you think KD is so successful?
And that's the situation that I'm in.
He decided to go to the Warriors to get a couple rings, and he took a pay cut.
Obviously, we know
to win a ring.
It's not going to be easy at all, but with this roster and this,
you got to sacrifice sometimes.
I think we have a legit chance.
David Aldridge, The Athletic.
David Aldridge.
James, if Daryl Morey was still the GM in Houston, do you think he would still be in Houston?
Ooh.
I'm not sure. It's a really good question.
I think so. Definitely. He would definitely be in Houston. Another ad break! Woo! Where's my ads, YouTube? I hate the noise, too, in the background, guys. Don't mind that.
Justin Walters, Pix 11.
Hey, James. Welcome to Brooklyn. You and KD are much different players than you were, obviously, at your time at OKC. Was wondering how much can you bring from that experience to Brooklyn? And then a twofold to this is having a conversation with Kai and making sure that all three of you can coexist. Have you had that conversation already?
We haven't, but I think for us,
well, you guys need to get that conversation happening ASAP. All right, because we all want a ring in Brooklyn.
Like I said, we're very unselfish, and we know what's at stake.
That conversation needs to happen. It needs to happen after this friggin' interview.
Coaches
needs to happen as soon as this video is already uploaded.
Putting ourselves to positions and spots on the floor where we can be effective and help each other out. Each game is going to be different, but I think as time goes on, since we're not really practicing, as we get a feel for throughout the course of games, that it should be a lot easier because, like I said, all of us are unselfish and we want to see the next man succeed. Not only just us three, though.
I really hope he brings this unselfish attitude because everything he did in Houston was straight selfish. He cared about putting up 50 shots rather than percentage.
When you make a trade request, you can't necessarily predict where.
But when he's hot, the man can make his baskets.
Can you confirm
Not doubting that.
Brooklyn was the top of your list. Why the Nets? And Did you consider what some of the other options might have been had this gone a different way?
Yeah, they were on top of my list, but there were a few other teams involved as well. I mean, it could have got crazy, but credit to the Houston Rockets, who are an unbelievable organization, and worked with me. As bad as it might look from the outside, internally they worked with me and they made sure I ended up here. So
I respect when organizations do that for their franchise players, because this man did get to 8 years of his best to Houston, so I do respect that for Houston.
That you three guys will have to make, and Sean Mark said yesterday you all said you want to do that. My question is kind of how much can you sacrifice and still be, a great player like you are? You've been the best scorer in the league. The ball's in your hands. If you're not that guy as much now, are you still, an elite, great player like you are?
Of course.
Taylor Rooks, Bleacher Report.
Hey James, welcome. I know you're obviously still getting acclimated to this team, but when you look at yourself, when you look at the pieces, what parts of your game do you envision, staying the same for this to work, and what parts do you envision changing for this to work with this team?
Very good question. I think for me, my playmaking ability. We have 2 elite scorers.
He just has to make smarter shots.
Knows already. My job is to come out here, obviously score the basketball when needed, but my playmaking ability, whereas getting our shooter shots, getting our bigs, finishing.
I want to see a lot of passing. I think Harden definitely, when he wants to be unselfish, and his passing abilities can be good. There's a lot of potential there.
As long as I'm, making my teammates better, it doesn't matter about the points. I think
maybe a new start is what he needs.
Score the ball at a high clip.
It's just risky.
Sacrifice comes in at.
But he understands that he has to sacrifice, which is good.
To Brooklyn, James, how would you describe your conditioning level now at this point in the season?
Great.
Back to Greg Logan.
So I knew some reporter was going to ask him about his conditioning. He better get his ass in shape before playoffs.
Relationship. Can you
use our facility and get on that treadmill, Harden. Just like me, I need to get on that treadmill.
Because you're both used to having the ball in your hands and needing the ball to create the way you each do.
I think
the Mark Henry memes are just the best.
We're really good at it, at creating and creating good shots for ourselves and creating shots for our teammates. Like I said, it's all the flow. I can't predict how it's going to go. Kyrie might score, 10 possessions in a row. KD might score 10 possessions in a row. Like, they're more than capable of that, and I'm fine with that. Because we're going to be winning and it's going to be good. So, I mean, tomorrow we'll see. And
he knows he can't be the number 1 option on this team to win a ring.
Alex Schiffer, The Athletic.
KD is that leader. KD is our number 1 option.
Steve Nash early in your career, but
then Kyrie's number 2.
Did you have much of a relationship with him prior to this trade?
Not really.
But if Kyrie doesn't show up to games and stuff like that, then Harden could easily take that number 2 spot.
Obviously he has that point guard mentality. One of the best to ever do it. So just to go over the offense, watching, just him explaining the offense, in positions that he sees me in.
I think Steve Nash is going to utilize Harden's abilities very good, though.
Because obviously he's done it for a very long time.
I see lots of potential with that.
Ian Begley.
And obviously having Mike D'Antoni, too. No question.
James, welcome to Brooklyn. Did how much, if at all?
Hey, this reporter's got some good quality.
Being here factor into where Brooklyn was kind of on your wish list entering this thing?
Number 1.
Part of it. Mike's an unbelievable coach.
This was his number 1 option, okay?
Very, very
they weren't talking about Miami, Boston, and Philly. They were talking about Brooklyn first about this. Easily.
Knowing Kyrie. Just the entire, those 4 pieces right there made it easy. Obviously then being in Brooklyn, for me it was a no-brainer.
Brian Lewis, New York Post.
Hey, James, following up on 2 of your answers, do you expect, to facilitate a little more for KD and Kai, score less and facilitate more for them? And secondly, I'm not questioning, your
especially not having Dinwiddie right now. We really need
questions about your
playmaking.
defense or questions
And I think
about
Harden
your
can
condition.
potentially
Do
bring
you
the
use
playmaking
those
if he
to kind
doesn't
of
throw up
self-motivate?
50 shots a game.
Bulletin board type stuff. Do you use that to self?
Nah, I'm already motivated. I'm as motivated as they come. I don't really pay attention to the defense and the conditioning because everybody's.
We'll find out if he's motivated when he gets on that court in a Brooklyn jersey.
So it doesn't matter to me. I don't really focus on.
But I do think he is focused, and now that he has a new area, a new chapter in his life in Brooklyn, I think he is going to be a lot more focused.
Now to get back to your question, as far as facilitating, it just depends on the flow of the game. Some games I might be a facilitator. Some nights I might got it going, and score the ball.
That's going to make it very scary, this Brooklyn Nets offense, because if Kyrie's off, Harden or KD is going to be on, and vice versa.
Just depends on.
He ain't wrong. Can't say that. He's spitting facts right now.
The Athletic.
James, good to see you. As far as trying to understand how you got to this decision, you talked about Coach D'Antoni and being happy that he's in Brooklyn. But I wonder, when he decided to leave, he'd been in the news a lot. We knew that was a possibility. But did that play a part for you? And how did that hit you? And within that,
absolutely. That was his go-to coach. D'Antoni brought out the best in Harden.
Yeah, when Daryl and Mike left, kind of sat back and kind of reevaluated everything. Those are two guys that I was very.
They had a lot of trust in him, so I see why he reevaluated.
So once they left, I had to figure out was this organization going into a rebuild stage, or were they still trying to compete at the highest level?
I think they're competing at the highest level. Still, they're trying to.
Thank you, James. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Whoo, damn, we got a lot of juicy intake right there. Definitely respect Harden a lot more than I did. I'm hoping that this unselfishness that he's talking about and the sacrificing, I really hope that we see this on the court. It seems like he is bringing a whole new attitude to Brooklyn, but time will only tell. But if you guys enjoyed this reaction video and you guys want more videos like this, smash that like button. Also, comment down below some videos that you want me to react to, and I'll give you a shout out in that video if I end up doing it. But if you're not a best one yet and you're an NBA fan, obviously Brooklyn Nets fan, you got to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. We're just going to be dropping content out of nowhere. New studio, so very focused, but also, links down in the description below. Go follow me on my social medias. All that is down below. And to all the best ones out there worldwide, Best One Nation, we're taking over. And unfortunately, welcome to Brooklyn, James Harden. Peace.